All right. Good. Hallo Facebook. Hallo Facebook. Wir sind live. Wir sind live hier aus München. Heute war eine Konferenz, eine Konferenz für den Accelerator, der keine Startups akzeleriert, sondern Startup-Ökosysteme. Ich will ein paar Eindrücke mit euch teilen, wie das Ganze halt entstanden ist und dann ein paar Leute spontan einladen. Es ist alles virtuell, ich kann nicht durch die Gegend laufen und das Mikrofon hinhalten und Leute interviewen, aber wir werden improvisieren. Gut. Ich sehe hier ein Pop-up, super. Das ist tatsächlich gestartet, cool. Super, okay. Ja, lass mich das mal kurz auch sharen. Okay. Super, okay. So, jetzt haben wir es geteilt, damit Leute mitbekommen, was wir hier machen. Also, kurze Story. Richard und ich waren bei der Konferenz dabei. Wer sind wir? GründerVirus. Richard managt so die Kommunikation und ich manage so die Events. Und interessante Geschichte. Also, wo vor einigen Jahren so die Startup-Journey sich bei mir abgezeichnet hat, gab es sehr viel Hilfe von irgendwelchen Institutionen. Es gab Programme und es ist alles schön und gut. Man wird beschäftigt und es gibt sehr viel Goodwill. Das ist super, sehr positiv. Aber die Relevanz hat gefehlt. Ja, die Relevanz, was ist Relevanz für ein Startup? Ein Startup muss super schnell sein. Es muss auf Dinge reagieren, es muss sich anpassen. Und Relevanz bedeutet auch Geschwindigkeit der Reaktion der Hilfen. Und wie schnell kann ich Funds bekommen, wie schnell kann ich mit den Leuten mich verbinden und so weiter. Und vielleicht liegt es an der Geografie, wo wir sind, wo wir waren, aber so wirklich hilfreich war das alles nicht. Ja, auch Förderinstrumente sind super, die können aber auch ausbremsen. Und, aber viel Support war irrelevant. So dass ich war bei der Startup Event Europe. Es ist so ein Projekt, wo Gründer befragt wurden, Entrepreneure gesurveyt wurden und die Ergebnisse wurden publiziert. Und ich fand das so spannend, weil man nicht auf irgendwelche Meinungen hört, sondern Daten generiert durch Befragung. Und in dem Projekt haben wir mal, das ist ein komplett virtuelles Team. Also ich bin seit vielen Jahren schon virtuell unterwegs, noch vor Covid. War das ganze Team virtuell über die ganze Welt verstreut aktiv und funktionsfähig. Und man trifft sich halt immer wieder offline. Haben wir gebrainstormt, was kann man machen? Es gibt so viele Daten, die Hitman hat. Und was kann man damit machen? Und wir hatten die Idee, dass, also aus meiner Erfahrung ist da ziemlich viel an Hilfe, was die irrelevant ist. Und wir sollten eigentlich in Ökosystem denken, Ökosystem helfen, ihren Job besser zu machen, den Leuten helfen, den Job besser zu machen. Und aus dieser Idee vor 3 Jahren sind viele neue Formate entstanden. Und eins davon, was heute sensationell verlaufen ist, also wir hatten auf der DEEPSEA-Konferenz über 100 Leute aus der ganzen Welt und der Auftrag dieser Leute ist halt, Startup-Ökosysteme aufzubauen. Genau. Und es sind unheimlich erfahrene Leute dabei und ich würde gerne gleich jemand einladen. Wir werden das Gespräch auf Englisch führen. Genau, also ich brauche nur noch den Link. Also es ist alles hier improvisiert. Stellt euch vor, ich laufe hier durch die Gegend und nehme die Leute, damit wir ein Gespräch führen können. Gut, also diesmal werden wir Sebastián haben. Er wird was über sich erzählen. Sebastián war der CEO von Startup Chile, ein enorm erfolgreiches Programm für Startups. Und das hat weltweit ein Renommee, ein Ruf aufgebaut, weil da wirklich in kurzer Zeit sehr viel passiert ist. Und es ist nicht nur, was an Programm aufgebaut wurde, sind tatsächlich Startups entstanden. Okay, das heißt, wir versuchen jetzt, Sebastián hier einzuladen, um zu fragen, was, also er hat das Event mitorganisiert, ist hier vor Ort in München und ist nach München gezogen, auch vor kurzem, und so ist es irgendwie alles zusammengekommen. Aber das Learning ist, dass man sich vorher gekannt hat und dass neue Projekte so entstehen, wenn man sich auch früher kennt. All right, Sebastián, hi. I already did the introduction in German. We are here also live on Facebook. So I introduced what we're doing today. So the DEEP Conference and how great the event was. And I just wanted to share with our community who you are, where you come from, and so they get the impression why you moved into from accelerating startups to accelerating ecosystems. But let's start in the beginning, where you come from and how you were engaged with the startup scene.
Cool. That was a deep question, actually, Serghei. Good one. Well, I come from the end of the world, pretty much, from Chile. I was until last year, I was working at the Startup Chile. It's a startup accelerator. It's actually one of the most well-known public policies to support entrepreneurs in the world. It was kind of the first public accelerator. Basically, thanks to that public policy, we managed to create a whole ecosystem towards entrepreneurship and innovation, and we managed to put Chile on the map. 10 years ago, nobody was even talking about Chile in terms of innovation and entrepreneurship, and now you can see all the rankings and everything, and it's a nice destination now for startups that are looking to grow in the Latin American market. So that was kind of the beginning where everything started back in Startup Chile.
So you said it was just one decade where things changed rapidly.
Yeah, exactly. So the whole thing started in 2010 when we were after a huge earthquake. Actually, was one of the biggest of the human history that took place in Chile. There's a lot of earthquakes all the time in Chile. But the entire country got destroyed back in 2010. And part of the rebuild was just to put and bet on innovation, And so the government put it basically and literally crazy people to lead these kind of projects, to attract founders from all over the world. And that's when the revolution started down there,
You said, okay, this is very interesting what you're saying. So the government decided to put, you said, crazy people to lead these projects. What do you mean by this?
Okay, so long story short, the government brought into Chile a Chilean consultant that was working in Stanford University. And due to the context, we were in the middle of the subprime crisis. So the whole world entered in recession. A lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of talent was struggling with visas in the US. And this guy came with a crazy idea of taking advantage of that. While every single country was closing barriers, he said, let's do the opposite. Let's open our barriers. Let's give visas and money to all the talent in the world, and let's see what happens, And one of the good things that happen when you're coming directly from Silicon Valley and you have direct access to a president is that the president hears you, right? And one of the things that this guy very well understood is that when you're talking about innovation, you just need to let it flow. It's not about a specific structure. When you're talking about talent and entrepreneurs, you cannot put barriers, just super hard regulations or rules and stuff like that. You just need the talent to thrive, right? So in order to do that, imagine a government just doing something like, okay, we're going to put budget to attract foreigners, and let's see what happens. That was very, very disruptive back in the day, you know, because everybody think about politicians and stuff like that, short terms, you know, and not even thinking about giving money to foreigners. So in order to set up the program and to add value to people that was coming basically to the end of the world, to a country that nobody knew, you need to set it up a team of people that was willing to do anything to retain that talent and to help that talent to grow from Chile, you know. So basically, we put it together that team. During the first years, we were kind of like a crazy experiment. And the good thing was that we started to show good results. So after showing results, you know, data, a key part of every single strategy, we started to show the numbers and the experiment works. So it started to grow. And now Startup Chile, it is what it is, you know?
Yeah. So this is very interesting. So we've known each other for a while, but I'm still learning a lot from this, from Startup Chile, how it evolved. So you said, this is very interesting because this is the opposite what many ecosystem projects are doing. You said actually they set up the program to attract foreigners, not only to foster what is inside the region, like to support this, but also to attract foreigners to the region, to Chile, and support them. So you have kind of a mix, right? So it's not only foreigners, but you attract diversity, and then it's kind of begins to mix.
Exactly. So at the end, we're always going back to the same question. How are we creating strategies and public policies? Just by a hint that you have, just because you think this is going to work, or you're using data to build it? We use data, and we saw that Chile, it was not a diverse country. I mean, you can go back to the rankings and every single study back 10 years ago, you know, and it was right there, you know. Actually, there was a huge survey that I don't remember the exact institution that made that survey back in Chile, but the point is that they interview many students from the most important business schools in Chile. And always the results was kind of the same. I want to work for a big corporation and make a lot of money, period. Now they're doing the same survey every time, and more than 80% want to become entrepreneurs, you know? So that's a huge cultural change. And the numbers were telling us that. So a way to change and to foster innovation is one with diversity, and to boost the culture and to change the culture is just by putting success cases in the middle and put those and treat them as a trend, you know, like a rock stars, stuff like that. So that way, the people that is looking for a change and a purpose can have a clear focus and a clear direction on where to go. So that's what we did, basically, you know. The first goal of Startup Chile was not to create an economical impact, was to change our culture. We was thinking too locally. Chile is the end of the world, you know. If you see Chile in the map, we have the Andes in one side, the Pacific Ocean in the other one, the driest desert in the world in the north, and the Antarctica in the south. We're a very isolated country. So even if you go to Chile now, you're gonna see that Chile is not very Latin in that sense. You know, we have a very particular culture. Of course, we're part of Latin America, but we have a completely different culture down there. Super traditional mindset, very, very huge lack of diversity and stuff like that. And that was stated in every single study. Again, the data told us that. So a way that we saw to solve that problem, it was bringing diversity. And we saw the opportunity to the context, you know, the global situation, economical situation, and all the talent that main economies were wasting, basically. And we asked ourselves, what if we try this, to see if it's going to have an impact in our local culture? Actually, we did that the same in Chile 100 years ago with Germany to colonize, how do you say the word, colonize the south of Chile. There was a huge public policy that was paying German guys to go to the south of Chile to colonize those lands because we needed to grow economically the south of Chile because nobody wanted to go there, you know? Yeah. So we put more talent we brought Europeans into Chile, and they started to boost new industries and stuff like that. So we tried again, now with technology and innovation, and it works.
Great. Wow. This is very insightful, and like that is data-driven, not like based on some wishful thinking, but based on principles that work, that prove to work. I know, like we know the principle, but also back up with the funding and the commitment, right? Yeah. And not making 1-2 small projects, but really a big commitment in changing culture. Okay, so two questions. First of all, let's drop some numbers. Like how many startups not you have accelerated, but how many startups were accelerated when you were leading a startup Chile?
When I was leading a startup, well, I spent 6 years and a half in Startup Chile. So I saw literally 1,000 startups through those 6 years, literally 1,000 startups. But when I was leading it, it was for almost 2 years, let's say 200, something like that. Many startups, many business models, many founders, good things, bad things.
All right, and what do you say? Like there are some cliches out there. What do you say to this 80-20, 90-10 distribution? Have you seen it, or is it kind of like other factors that can skew this curve? That 10% fail, 10% succeed, 90% fail. Like, have you seen it, or is it kind of a myth invented by statistics or investors or bad decision making?
I mean, it sounds cliche, but it's just part of the deal. Failure is just another step to success. You know, just to drop some numbers, during the first 5 years of startup, as I told you, the main goal was to change the local culture, right? So we were not focusing a lot on the business that we attract. We were focusing a lot on the talent on the entrepreneur. So just to give you a quick example, back in 2011, we brought to Chile a lot of blockchain-based startups. And nobody was talking about blockchain in Chile. Even now, it's hard to understand how blockchain works. So there was no chance for that business to stay in Chile because there was no industry for the blockchain technology, not at all. But the entrepreneurs was super talented. So we used that entrepreneur to go to universities, to do meetups, workshops, and stuff like that, you know? So the main goal was not to retain them or to make them succeed with that business, but to use that talent. Then once we started to see the numbers and we started to see that we created that culture towards innovation and tech entrepreneurship, we changed a few things. And now we started to take care more about the businesses. So we started to ask during the selection process more about a strategical approach to the Latin American market. And the numbers grow immediately. So during the first 5 years, the success rate was around 30%. And when I left Startup Chile last year, it was around 55%. You know, just because we were focusing more on the strategic part of the business rather than only in the talent. Of course, the talent was an important part, but now the business side was also a key component of the evaluation process.
Yeah, okay. And that's actually super inspiring. I like the perspective because I think people are often crippled by numbers when it's the wrong time to apply those numbers. I like the idea that building first the culture, and then when a certain maturity is there, that you kind of have a different type of culture that you again introduce, right? So you have kind of a baseline. You don't need to explain basic stuff. You talk about more sophisticated strategies. Cool.
Exactly.
All right. So, and like, are there like what you would share with startup community? Some key learnings, like it could be again a cliche, right? Focus on this, focus on that. But if you would say 3 to 5 things that you learned building a startups, what worked, and I know it's difficult, but if you could distill it, like what kind of advice would you give for the early stage founders? I'm not talking about scaling, but for early stage founders or people who just have ideas and are hesitating to make the first step.
So as I said at the beginning, innovation and entrepreneurship need a field to play, but you need to let them play. They don't need a set of rules. You know, I've seen many accelerators where you apply and you go and they demand you to be there. You need to go. It's a mandatory workshop. If you don't go, we will kick you out.
You will be punished.
Exactly, and stuff like that, you know. So the founder, the first thing that I learned there is that the founder need to find his or her place when they are looking for help, you know, the right organization to help them. If you're lacking something specific, try to find an organization that is going to help you with the thing that you're lacking. You know, many founders apply to many organizations or accelerators just because of the money, and they ended up killing the startup. You know, because of that bad decision. So try to be clear on your gaps and try to apply to the best organization that is going to help you closing those gaps. That will be one of the first recommendations. Another thing that I will always recommend also is just to be clear if you're applying to private funds or public funds. Because even in Startup Chile, since it was public, it came with a lot of bureaucracy. I mean, we helped the business to grow as an ecosystem builders, you know, we were connecting all the time and stuff like that, but the money part is always slow. It took sometimes even 2 months to pay to the entrepreneurs, you know. We, as an ecosystem builder, we're hosting like dinners for the entrepreneurs because they didn't have any money to pay for their own dinner because we were not able to pay, you know. At the end, the founder needs to at least need to be super clear when they're asking for help, where to go.
Great, I like it. Yeah, it makes sense. Like it's amazing that you have a lot of discussion, but again, there are discussions that are more revealing than others. Last question. So you played the one of the key roles in elevating Chilean ecosystem or Startup Chile. So from accelerating startups to accelerating ecosystems. Couple of words like this transition, why it makes sense for you to accelerate ecosystem. It's obviously not mainstream yet, but like a couple of words, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, and it's super related to what I said at the beginning. Entrepreneurs, they have a clear purpose. Entrepreneurs are pure talent. They need a clear space just to play, you know. They know what to do. They just need to keep innovating, you know. But when we're talking about creating the right condition for entrepreneurs, that's where the magic happens. And who create that? Ecosystem builders. The ecosystem are not the entrepreneurs, are not the VCs. The VCs are just too worried on making their money to making more money. The startups founders are worried about creating a company, just dealing with tons of things, you know. But the ecosystem builders are the ones that are putting the field for them to play. So it took me a lot to realize that. But at the end, I understood that it's the people behind the scenes, the ones that are making everything possible for the entrepreneurs, the VCs, the public policies, and everything. So without ecosystem and without ecosystem builders, there are not going to be entrepreneurs succeeding. So it's very easy for me. So when I came into this opportunity to accelerate ecosystem, it was super clear for me. Exactly. This is the thing, you know.
Yeah. All right. Great, Sebastián. Thank you for being here with us, sharing your expertise with our community, GründerVirus, and we will tag you when we post the follow-up. And I hope it's okay that we tag your LinkedIn profile so people can reach out and connect with you. Anyone who is interested to talk to you and
give me a smile for a screenshot, please.
All right, let's.
Okay.
Right. Nice smile. All right, great. Thanks, Sebastián.
All right, guys.
Thanks for taking
Thank you.
Okay. All right, should I leave? Yes.
Yes, I think so because you have to leave, right?
Yes. We have to leave, but thanks for the time, guys. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you soon, Serghei and Richard.
All right.
Okay. All right, guys.
Thanks.
Have a nice evening.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
So, okay, das war Sebastián. Unglaublich, was für Leute mit die hier auf der Konferenz waren, was die alles gemacht haben, was die erreicht haben. Und interessant, dass die Dinge, die funktionieren tatsächlich. Also es muss einfach der Vektor geändert werden. Richard war ja heute bei der Konferenz auch dabei. Richard ist relativ neu mit der Startup-Thematik und Ökosystem und wir hatten uns immer wieder unterhalten und da habe ich ihm gesagt, so dein Blick verstehe ich, so vor Jahren habe ich gedacht, die Leute, worüber reden die überhaupt? Klingt so abgefahren und esoterisch, aber das sind wirklich Konzepte, mit denen man arbeitet. Richard, wie war dein Eindruck? Du warst heute auch auf der Konferenz. Was waren so die Key Learnings für dich?
Genau, also du hast es schon gesagt, ich bin erst seit kurzem in diesem Ökosystem, Game etc.
Ecosystem Game, nice. Okay.
Genau, ich habe einiges mitgenommen. Ich merke jetzt immer wieder, ja, wie wichtig Networking ist und ja, so langsam kann ich mir unter einem Ökosystem was vorstellen. Gerade bin ich da so, okay, es ist einfach ein Netzwerk halt aus ganz vielen Leuten, die verschiedene Sachen beitragen können, um neue Unternehmen zu gründen etc. Und die Key Learnings.
Was hast du heute gelernt?
Das Key Learning, das Key Learning ist, wie wichtig es ist, dass Leute sich eben zusammentun und neue Sachen machen, einfach machen. Das ist so mein Key Learning.
Okay. Warst du bei einer der Session, die bei einem Deep Dive?
Ja, genau. Ich war beim Ecosystem Internationalization und ja, das war ein bisschen technisch schon. Manchmal bin ich doch ausgestiegen. Kommt bestimmt noch mit der Zeit. Aber sehr spannende Leute.
Okay, also es kann technisch werden, wenn es um Internationalisierung geht. Sehe ich auch oft, dass die Thematik viel zu spät kommt, dass die Thematik kommt, wenn man was hat und dann merkt man, wir müssen auch mal etwas reinholen oder Startups aus dem Ökosystem irgendwie nach außen vorzeigen oder mit einem Markt verbinden, der relevant ist und dann muss man erst Beziehungen aufbauen mit der Region, wo man hin möchte. Und das braucht wiederum Zeit. Okay, und jetzt wenn du schaust, okay, du hast vor 2 Monaten angefangen?
Um den Dreh.
Oder um den Dreh, okay, 2 Monate. Was war so deine Lernkurve? Also wie war der Prozess? Was ist neu? Also was hat sich so geöffnet, so eine Tür geöffnet, Perspektive geöffnet, grundsätzlich, auch für dich persönlich?
Naja, also vor 2,5 Monaten war die Sache einfach noch so, was ist überhaupt ein Startup? So, eigentlich hat es schon damit angefangen, so einfach Leute, die irgendwas Neues machen, das hat sich jetzt, das Bild ist klarer geworden auf jeden Fall. Ich würde noch nicht behaupten, dass mir jetzt da die 100 Millionen Dollar Idee eingefallen ist. Aber das kann man, glaube ich, auch nicht erwarten nach so kurzer Zeit.
Das ist interessant, dass du jetzt sofort groß denkst. Ne? Man sagt ja auf Englisch hier 1 Million Dollar Idea. Ja, du denkst schon an 100 Millionen Dollar Ideas.
Ja, also ich fand heute war zum Beispiel ich weiß gar nicht mehr, Gabor Barlog war in dem Deep Dive. Er hat ein System entwickelt, Trucksters, ein System, wo LKWs Die Lkw-Fahrer müssen ja immer Ruhezeiten einhalten und er hat ein System entwickelt, wo die Anhänger eigentlich immer abgekoppelt werden nach 4 Stunden Fahrzeit und dann einen anderen, wie heißen die? An eine andere Zugmaschine gekoppelt werden. Und da dachte ich halt, okay, das ist verdammt geil, das wäre zum Beispiel eine Idee, hätte mir auch einfallen können, ja. Das ist...
Das löst einen Prozess aus, ne? Das löst einen Prozess bei dir aus.
Ja, definitiv. Das ist eine überragende Idee und so langsam kann ich mich doch irgendwie da reindenken.
Okay, cool. Ja, ich denke, das ist ein ganz wesentlicher Aspekt, den man oft unter den Tisch fallen lässt. Sagen wir, wenn man ein Projekt aufsetzt, welche Art auch immer, oder ein Vorhaben, dass man sagt, okay, ich habe Punkt A und B, ja, ich muss von da nach da. Aber der Prozess, also in dem Prozess etwas aufzubauen, also etwas Neues aufzubauen, das verändert einen selbst. Ja, und was ich auch gelernt habe, so in Diskussionen mit Foundern oder Ecosystem-Bildern oder überhaupt Content sich anzuschauen oder anzuhören, das entwickelt so eine gewisse Sensibilität, ja, Sensibilität für und Perspektiven, also etwas besser zu machen. Das sensibilisiert so, die Gaps zu sehen. Ist das genau, was du sagst? So, die Person hat es vorgestellt, dann denke ich mir, darauf hätte ich auch kommen können, bin ich aber nicht. Aber ich weiß, dass sowas möglich ist. Und allein das löst so eine gewisse Lernerfahrung aus.
Ja, definitiv. Als du dann geredet hast, habe ich natürlich schon überlegt, wo ist denn jetzt die nächste Lücke?
Ja, das ist gut. Okay, super. Okay, ja, genau. Also Also das merke ich in letzter Zeit auch immer wieder, deswegen möchte ich die Hangouts, also virtuell, hoffentlich bald auch offline, dass man sich in Person trifft, dass allein der Austausch ein gewisses Skills entwickeln lässt. Ja. Und mit jedem Gespräch, also wenn man offen ist und quasi jetzt Dinge nicht verschleiert, aber so offen ist und ehrlich, lernt man enorm viel. Also
definitiv.
Okay. Okay, das ist super. Das ist super. Also wir werden noch, ja, ich versuche hier Leute zu bekommen, mindestens noch einen Gast hier haben, die das Event mitgestaltet haben. Cool. Vielleicht sage ich, was meine Key Learnings waren. Also ein Key Learning, das war halt von einem Keynote Speaker. Also wir hatten 2 Keynote Speaker, Bart Witte und Alain Bertrand. Sehr, sehr interessant. Also mein Key Learning so vom Talk von Bart, der sich für Open Source und die Foundation Hippo AI gegründet hat. Ein Key Learning war, hat gesagt, die Innovation oder Disruption wird vor allem im Healthcare-Bereich von Ökosystemen kommen, von Communities und von Patienten. Ja, es gibt scheinbar immer mehr Patienten, die bestimmte Erfahrungen sammeln müssen, ja, Erfahrungen durchmachen und dann die Technologie nutzen, die wir heute haben, sei es irgendwelche Crowdfunding-Kampagnen oder dass man einfach eine Initiative gründet, dass die anfangen, aktiv zu werden, um anderen zu helfen. Das ist interessant. Das ist super interessant. Und das war das Key Learning, das habe ich auch beobachtet, dass bestimmte Leute, die eine Erfahrung durchmachen, dann heute, weil die Barriere zur Kommunikation und ich kann die ganze Welt erreichen. Ja, theoretisch könnte die ganze Welt hier diese Unterhaltung sehen. Und das machen sich die Leute halt zunutze für einen guten Zweck. Also das war spannend. Und das andere war von Alain Bertrand. Alain Bertrand war Städteplaner für die World Bank. Früher war er sehr unbeliebt. Das ist interessant. Er hatte eine wichtige Funktion, aber er war unbeliebt, weil er seine Meinung gesagt hat. Und eine seiner zentralen Aussagen ist halt, dass Städte oder Cities nicht scheitern können. Und das macht für mich auch irgendwie Sinn. Also ich kann nicht eine Infrastruktur, ein Experiment in der Infrastruktur einer Stadt haben. Das ist gefährlich. Ja. Und diese Sicherheit, die Stadt eigentlich ob man sagt, den Menschen oder den Bürgern, wie auch immer, gibt, ja, mit der kann man nicht scheitern. Darf man auch nicht scheitern. Das heißt, der Mindset von Städten, die vielleicht Innovation betreiben möchten, wollen, ist absolut fehl am Platz. Also das ist ein Innovationskiller, könnte man sagen. Denn man muss beim Innovieren scheitern. Ja, das sagen die Silicon Valley Gurus und so weiter. Man muss scheitern im Sinne von etwas ausprobieren, wo man nicht weiß, dass es funktioniert, was vielleicht noch keiner probiert hat, und daraus das Lernen. Und das ist enorm wichtig. Es ist nicht so, dass man alles tut, ja, dass man nur scheitert. Denn wenn man nur Dinge falsch macht, dann stimmt was nicht. Aber also so ein kalkuliertes Risiko ausprobieren, wenn es schief geht, ist es nicht dramatisch. Genau diese Experimente zu machen, das ist außerordentlich wichtig. Und Städte können wir sowas nicht machen. Ja? Die können nicht ein Gebäude planen und sagen, naja gut, vielleicht hält es ein Jahr, wenn nicht, dann stürzt es, das geht nicht. Also Städteplanung und die Art und Weise, wie Städte funktionieren. Das war sehr interessant. Genau, also die Botschaft von ihm ist eigentlich, ist das, was Sebastián auch gesagt hat, ne, Richard? Mach einen Spielplatz, ja, ein Spielfeld für Founder, für Entrepreneure und lass sie machen. Ja. Let innovation is a flow. Lass diese Freiheit. Und scheinbar wo das möglich ist, das Experimentieren, das funktioniert scheinbar. Ja. Also das ist so auch eine Key Learning, die in diesem Kontext sich mit Menschen unterhalten. Das entwickelt dann auch ein Gespür für die Komplexität. Also Dinge sind komplex und manchmal muss man einfach loslassen, weil das zu komplex ist, und sich quasi den Menschen vertrauen, dass die das können. Das ist das Beste machen. Genau. Also Vertrauen ist ein wichtiges Thema, grundsätzlich in Communities und auch in Ökosystemen. Cool, aber das ist ein anderes Thema. So, wir werden gleich noch Erika Santini hier im Hangout dabei haben. Erika ist Professorin für Entrepreneurship und ist der wissenschaftliche Kopf sozusagen bei der Startup Movement Europe. Letztens hat sie ein Survey gemacht über Female Entrepreneurship, und Female Entrepreneurship ist eins der Deep Dives gewesen. Genau, das ganze Format von der Konferenz war nicht einfach konsumieren. Also wir hatten natürlich eine Keynote und etwas Content, aber dann ging es tatsächlich um richtige Meetings. Wir haben Topics gesetzt im Deep Dive und haben das konzentriert abgearbeitet. Und eins davon war Female Entrepreneurship. Hi, Erika.
Hey, hi.
Hi. I already introduced you in German.
If you want, you can speak in German for a while. I understand something, but after I can't reply in German.
No problem. Okay, let's switch to English. So I introduced you. We're live on Facebook. Sebastián was here, shared his insights from Startup Chile and some advice for founders. I just here to share your perspective, experience with the startup community in like GründerVirus, the startup community.
Yeah, it's completely different. Really, today I had a really strange experience. I mean, I know this community because I know you. I used to speak with you, but at the uni we don't have this kind of point of view. Really, it's completely different. We have maybe it's more theoretical. Really, I have to be honest. We live like in a, I don't know how to call it. We are in our bubble. This is
okay.
In the uni we are in our bubble. A lot of nice concepts. We spoke a lot about ecosystems. For us, it's quite normal to speak about entrepreneurial ecosystem, innovation ecosystems. We use this concept. It's a long time that we use this kind of concept, and we define this concept, but we never feel this kind of atmosphere. For us, it's okay.
So today you felt it.
Really, it was amazing. So for me, it was like, okay, it's real. It's real.
It's real, yeah.
Yeah, every time that I have this this is why I decided to join this project, because my idea was, okay, I like to do research. This is my passion, to do research, to understand better all these kind of things. But for me, entrepreneurial ecosystems is my unit of analysis. So to feel that it's real and the stuff that I'm doing research is there, it's moving, it's dynamic, it's changing. It's super interesting. Also today, when I spoke with about female entrepreneurship, we were speaking about maybe there is something wrong. Yeah, we have to, at the end of the day, we thought we have to change the narrative. We don't have to speak about female entrepreneurship anymore. We were just women, all of us. And this was from a side a little bit sad, because we thought, okay, so we are the only one taking care of ourselves. And so they told me that we did wrong. We don't have to speak about female entrepreneurship. We have to speak about diversity and how everyone has to feel to be comfortable inside the ecosystem. How the ecosystem is to be able to embed diversity. And female is inside this kind of big topic. And you can speak about, I don't know, other kind of ethnic entrepreneurship, no? Yeah. You don't have just to speak about female, because in this case, just female and women feel to be involved in this kind. Harald is here. I can't see him. Yeah.
No problem. Yeah.
Sorry guys, I'll be right back.
Hi.
Hi, Harald. You can start a video. Just say hi. Erica, please stay here. I would like to, Erica, if you have a couple of minutes, this is very interesting what you said.
You see,
Sebastián. Hi. 5 minutes. All right. So, okay, Erica, please stay.
They also asked it to me. They asked it to me. Are you the only women? And I told them, I'm not the only one. There is a lot of women in our team. There are a lot of them doing a lot of work, but I'm the only one really putting the face.
And
it's really hard to keep them involved in this kind of events, because they are quite busy. And so was quite interesting. For me, it was, today was really amazing. A lot of inputs, really.
You know what the best part is? You know, it's so painful, but like being in the room with Thomas and Sebastián, like we're not too close, but being in the same room, like I missed it so much. You are so like this energy is amazing. I think it's great that we connect. You are somewhere else.
Can you imagine I'm here? Yeah, can you imagine I'm here in my apartment 30 every day, all the day. And the only changing thing is my kids are out or are in. And I hope that they are out.
Yeah,
so really,
it's a great experience, and I think that the energy that we are in the same room will transfer it. So we have also Harald here. Harald,
yeah. By the way, sorry I'm late.
Yeah.
There's no late. Gaming platform, post-conference with beers and games.
Yeah.
And I got lost in
I will join
of the
in
game.
5 minutes. I will join in 5 minutes. I just wanted to present to our community the people behind it and what we do different. So, Erica, I think we should make a separate meetup for GründerVirus on diversity, because totally agree that it's not about, there was a post on LinkedIn. So there was a woman sitting and there was kind of female founder, and she kind of crossed the female stuff, right? I think this is also stigmatizing to talk about it. It's important to support it as a community, but it might stigmatize maybe the founders. But I would be happy to have you on our virtual event in the next weeks, months, so we can talk about diversity.
Yeah, I think it's super important, because this is the main point. And also the narrative was really important in this topic.
Yeah,
that we
definitely
have to shape the narrative, and the fact that we have to create this community able to embed diversity. This is important in ecosystem, no? So for me, that was super. Our session was really interesting, really. Yeah.
All right, good. Erica, you have kids. Maybe you want to play. So thanks for joining. It's like, you know, when you're in conference, you're running around with a microphone and talking to people. This is what we do here.
I told to Thomas in the other section, I spent in the day just sharing my screen. Okay, I share my screen now. I share my screen. Really, to have this kind of conversation without to share the screen and to see people and to interact, I missed today a little bit, because I just share my screen and I was seeing my slides. This was my day today. So really, thank you for this call, and thank you very much.
Great,
bye.
Erica. Thank you.
Bye, Erica.
Bye. Ciao, Richard.
Bye.
Okay, good. Last but not least, we have Harald. Okay, couple of minutes concentration, focus. Harald, where you're located? So we are a virtual team, as I said. Where are you right now?
I'm based in Quito, Ecuador, in South America.
So we put up the conference virtually, and we just gathered here to execute it. Harald, maybe some briefly your background, and by the way, like, he started the conference at 2:30 in the morning, and look, he's looking fresh.
Yeah, true. And I'm also having the after-hour beer at basically noon. So my background, I'm from Munich, Germany originally. I studied political science in Munich. And then afterwards, after studying, I had my work or career focus towards international cooperation, international development cooperation. I used to work at foundations. I used to work at the German Development Corporation. And more, I got pushed more towards the topic of innovation. Who does innovation and how? Who do you have to talk to? Who do you have to work with? Who do you have to connect to get the goals that you are standing for implemented? And those goals, I mean, typically when you talk about international development cooperation, you think about the SDGs, for example, the Sustainable Development Goals, everything that is climate change and social development. And here, more and more, I learned to build bridges towards startup and innovation ecosystems. Lastly, here in Ecuador. I live in Ecuador, South America now since over 5 years now already. And here, for example, when I worked with the GIZ, the German Development Corporation, I used to build bridges towards innovation actors. That's like incubation hubs, social impact hubs, entrepreneurship communities, co-workings, and so on, to try to support them, connect with them, basically connect them to the topic of social environmental impact. That's my background.
All right, great. Okay, so you were today leading one deep dive. What was the topic, and why is it relevant? And maybe you could say, so your background, you've been involved in multiple projects. Maybe you could say, why is this setting with a deep dive where we're not just exchanging content but working together? Why is it relevant to solving maybe global challenges better than just by marketing something?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why is this format? I'm convinced that this format is better. That so you have a briefing, you work together, you have a post publication after the event. This is the decision we made internally. What happened during the deep dive, and why is this format productive? I believe it will be productive, but.
All right, so first the topic. My deep dive or workshop or roundtable was on culture tech, which means cultural and creative industries, how startups in this field are active and how ecosystem builders can support them. It's a very wide field ranging from gaming to design, architecture, journalism, fashion, cultural institutions like museums and so on. So it's very wide. Mm-hmm. And there was a little bit of a challenge also to find focus in that topic. We basically identified 4 trending topics in the analysis, which was on museums, how they have to digitalize to get to the audiences during the COVID crisis, how to get to new audiences, basically through digital means. Then we had a topic on NFT, which are non-fungible tokens. There's a lot of chat about that currently. Basically, hype, yeah. It's a hype, yeah. You can connect digital content, digital art, digital items through the blockchain, and then this way own them and sell them. And there's been a lot of movement in that field recently with artists and even the founder of Twitter selling items online and raising lots of millions. And now there's also like established players like auction houses and so on jumping on board and movement also in terms of investments. Third topic was art sales online in general. This is also like a CCI topic, arts and artworks. You cannot go to the gallery around the corner anymore. You have to buy it online. So there's movement. They have to digitalize now and fast. And the last topic was also for performing arts like theater and opera and concerts and so on. They also cannot perform live anymore or barely. So they have to find ways to reach people online. Those were the topics that we had to analyze before. And regarding the format, we had 2 guest experts joining us and around 15 to 20 people watching, interacting, contributing. It was a little bit difficult to find like a common theme because it's such a broad topic.
So broad.
Yeah. But there's like one theme that I would analyze or like summarize what was that established players in the CCI sector, like museums, theaters, or publishing houses, or newspapers and stuff like that, people were very skeptical that they have a culture towards innovation, that there's like a real movement, a real opportunity to connect with startups with new approaches, with new technologies and new business models. So people were just generally skeptical when how to connect, basically.
In terms of how to connect with new concepts, new technologies, new teams. Okay.
Yeah. In terms of the format and the impact, well, I guess it's good to analyze it. I'm not an expert in CCI. I'm not an expert in cultural and creative industries. So it was a new topic for me. But now I have a little bit of an idea of what's going on. And if the participants have the same feeling that now they know there's something going on, maybe there's an opportunity here or there, maybe in the next time, they can have their eyes open, and if they see an opportunity, then better understand it. So it's good for analysis to understand what kind of trends are going on. If you then become active or not, that's like depending on you, basically. Is that something that you want to change or attack, or is it just something that you now know better than before? Basically that.
Right, cool. And I think like I hear like I was doing other stuff, and I heard what we were talking about, and what I heard is that like last year accelerated CCI generally because they barely could operate, and a lot of creativity sparked there. How can we find ways to transmit like any piece of culture virtually? It sounded like a huge acceleration process was started but in last year, and it will probably transform CCI like generally, right?
Yeah, that was also one of the quotes that I remember. People called the COVID-19 crisis as a game changer. So everything that was before one-on-one live, people moving from one place to another or going inside places, that just was canceled completely. And now everybody is struggling.
I think that's an interesting, when we will wrap up, but I think this is an interesting field because like the business models have to change radically, right? So I think we'll see new business models there. Have you identified one like particular business model that emerged from like non-fungible tokens? I mean, this is like a special application, but have you seen other business models besides that?
Or yeah, it was a little bit of a challenge because people were also discussing it. If there's really business models and services that are like scalable in the CCI sector. People said, experts in the field said, maybe it's more regular, small or medium-sized business doing a service and somebody buying it, but it's not going through the roof in terms of growth, investment, and sales and scalability. So there was a big question mark there. In terms of the business models or startups, yes, there are some that found a niche or received attention. For example, one, it's in our report, of Paris-based startup that does this NFT trading, but not in terms of anything goes, but connecting it with a real world value, which is sports memorabilia. Basically, they're selling items from football clubs and people can trade it. And they want to connect this virtual trading of basically those fan cards with then real interactions with the football club. And they received, I think, like 40 million euros recently, which is like one example of one startup connecting the dots, basically.
It's interesting. I've known the NBA shot company where you can, the company where you can own some kind of piece of the game.
Exactly.
Like one shot, one dunk, etc. From the NBA. I think it's very interesting. So a lot of things are happening there. Harald, thank you for your time. I appreciate you sharing your insights. Enjoy your day, enjoy your rest, and thanks for sharing your
Thank you very much.
Expertise.
Richard, Serghei.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Alright, gut. Also, das war's für heute. Ja, es ist unglaublich viel Content. Es ist schmerzhaft, dass man jetzt abbrechen muss, weil es sind sehr spannende Geschichten und ich denke, das letzte Jahr hat sehr viel bewegt. Aber wir hatten heute enorm viel Content. Wir haben monatelang, also das Team hat monatelang darauf gearbeitet. Und die Expertise, die man einbringt, das löst einen Prozess aus. Das haben wir bei Richard gesehen. Also, gut, jetzt müssen wir wrap-upen und ich wünsche euch einen schönen Abend. Wir werden noch die Speaker taggen in unserem Post und ich hoffe, es hat euch was gebracht. Es passiert sehr viel. Es lohnt sich, mit Leuten, mit Experten halt zu vernetzen, solche Events zu organisieren oder die zu besuchen. Ansonsten, Richard, danke, dass du dabei warst. Dankeschön für die Orga. This is the man behind the scenes. Ich wünsche euch einen schönen Abend. Danke, dass ihr dabei wart. Ciao.